Hello, it's Polish Pol VR, welcome to the channel. I hope you all alright and sound and of course playing some awesome PlayStation VR games. And of course, as always, we gathered here to talk about PlayStation VR games. Today we've got some very good news about Star Wars Squadrons. Finally, we're getting Taxi game on PlayStation VR, something what many people been waiting for. And also we're gonna talk a bit about Until You Fall because the game is out right now. So let's just jump into it and let's start from this taxi game. So the game is called The Last Taxi. You can see teaser trailer playing behind me in the background. The game is currently listed on Steam as coming soon, but also the developer on Twitter been tagging it as PlayStation VR game as well. So I was actually following this game for a while and I was kind of hoping it's gonna come to PSVR, and look at that, it's happening. How happy times. So the meaning and the message of this game: you are the last surviving taxi driver on Earth. This Earth, of course, as you can see, it's futuristic, so you've got flying cars, very nice. I always say flying in VR feels great. I always wanted taxi game in VR, so that's pretty cool. And now we get in both, mix of both together. I know we've had this Starber Taxi in past, but it was kind of on a smaller side. This one gonna be much bigger game, and you're not only gonna be driving people around, there's much more to this game. It's very heavy, story driven. It's got about 20 different endings, the developer says, and about 10 hours of gameplay time. So of course, as a taxi driver, you have to make sure you get money and stuff, but also you've got over 80 characters to listen to. You listen to their story and you can follow up on it. So if they say something dodgy, you can report it because there's always somebody listening in your taxi, or you can not report it and go kind of on the bad side, and it will just work like that. So that's how you're gonna be earning money. You're gonna be managing your failing equipment as well. There is a lot to do in this game. So like I said, it is listed on Steam as coming soon, but there is no release date yet. Nevertheless, I'm glad to see that this game making its way to PlayStation VR. In past, we meant to get this modern zombie taxi company from Santa Monica studio out of everyone. I'm gonna play this video here somewhere. And this was a taxi game with zombies. Looking at this gameplay now, I can say PSVR come quite far away. This was announced in 2015, I think, cancelled in 2017, so it never happened. It was like a Santa Monica's probably like a side project while they've been working on amazing God of War, of course. Santa Monica need to make another VR game. They kind of they published some stuff like Tumber VR. Also, they did Bound, and you know, this modern zombie they meant to give us never happened. But hopefully they will make something one day. That would be nice. But anyway, coming back to The Last Taxi, so you'll be flying around this futuristic city, kind of like cyberpunkish vibes. I think this is like only city that survived on Earth. Some people are rich, but some people sadly didn't manage to get rich like you, so you have to kind of help them out. The world, nobody works there, looks like, apart from you. Everything is led by the automotion. So they made taxi game, but put to it very rich story, which is very nice. If you like story-driven games, then you probably, and also narrative-rich games, then you probably gonna like this one. But also, if you like to flying around in VR and do some taxi jobs, then you're probably gonna enjoy it as well. As always, stay tuned, and as soon as I know more, I will be letting you know. Okay, anyway, moving on to the Star Wars Squadrons, I got some very good news for you about this game. Of course, release date is just around the corner. Friday cannot come soon enough. We are waiting for this game. Got our headsets ready, I'm assuming. But anyway, what's happening is this game had finally their trophies popping up. So we kind of know, maybe it doesn't give us size of the single player campaign, how long it's gonna be, but it gives us idea how the game gonna be and how big it's going to be. So for single player, it looks like you've got 4 difficulty levels. The easiest one is basically a story mode. Some new games doing that a lot. I'm assuming it's for people who don't have time. That's how I played Last of Us 2 on a super easiest story mode, because I just didn't have time. Of course, I'm playing loads of VR, I'm doing this YouTube channel, so I don't have time for flat games, but I wanted to check out Last of Us 2. But never mind, you've got this, little easy story level, you've got pilot, which is a bit harder, and then you've got those two more even harder levels, so some kind of replayability will be there in single player missions. But also what's pretty cool, you can see how high your level gap can be, what you can reach. So you can achieve maximum level 40 in this game as of the launch. But as we know, the developers said already they're gonna do this every 8 weeks, kind of like a new season, new challenges will be unlocked. Think about it like Op Pass in Firewall, every 8 weeks you're gonna get something new. Now, will that gonna be paid or not? I don't know. I know they said there will be no microtransactions in this game, so you'll be earning everything through the gameplay, but season passes, they kind of see them differently, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. Nevertheless, it's all shapes to be very good. There's tons of trophies for all of you platinum trophy hunters. Of course, the game like this gonna have platinum as well. Now, on the flat, it seems like it's kind of medium-sized game, but when it comes to the VR, of course, it's gonna be big game, because most of VR games are on a shorter side, on a smaller side. The mechanics are less advanced than this. I'm talking on not everyone, of course, we know No Man's Sky, how good it is, but I mean most of the games are not as big, so for VR, as PSVR game, this is gonna be huge, this is going to be massive, we all gonna go there this Friday. The game finally will release. You can still pre-order, you can pre-order standard edition or you can pre-order deluxe edition, which gonna gives you some extra goodies. I never pre-order any deluxes anymore, but anyway, also this game, of course, for all of you collectors, you'll be able to get the disc version as well if you want to. So Electronic Arts did great with this game, because we are so pleased to have it. Also, as we know, on PS4 the game will support HOTAS. At the time of the announcement, there was a bit of a panic because they announced HOTAS for PC but not for PlayStation 4. Nevertheless, I said not to worry, it's gonna come in the future. And of course, they announced they're gonna add HOTAS support to PS4 as well. And this will come in the form of day one patch. So the game, as every pretty much game now, gonna receive day one patch. So even if you buy it on disc, you're still gonna have to download patch. I can't remember lately some kind of one of PSVR games released, and it had game day one patch bigger than a game, so you still had to download it anyway. I can't remember the name now, but it's just the times we live in. Nevertheless, the game will be crossplay with everyone, VR with non-VR, you'll be able to play with Xbox players as well and PC players. Everyone will be able to jump in. I'm sure the player base gonna be huge, it's gonna be there. So it's gonna be one of those games when you're not gonna be sitting around struggling to find a match. It's happening in VR a lot, sadly. It's not the biggest community yet, even though it's still growing. But also some online games that just kind of not meeting people's expectations. Even big studios releasing, like Ubisoft released Space Junkies, and sadly this game died, a very good game, but nobody been playing it online, and it was of course online only. So at least we know with Star Wars Squadrons we are safe to go, it's just gonna be work, the people gonna be there to play with. Electronic Arts did everything right with this announcement of no microtransactions, with the lower price for the game, and also with the virtual reality support, which they said they're doing not to earn money because they don't even know if it's gonna earn them money, the VR mode, but they've done it because they like VR and they was thinking it's gonna be fun things to do, so all the fans are happy, especially after, of course, Battlefront 2 fiasco. I think that's when they kind of turned themselves around and was thinking, yeah, maybe it's nice to be nice to our customers, they might appreciate us more. So yeah, I'm looking forward, I'm super hyped, I cannot wait for this game. Of course, I'll be playing it as soon as I get my hands on it, so as always, stay tuned and check out the gameplay when I've got the game. And now, moving on to another story, I want to talk a bit about Until You Fall. So, past last week or so, we've had tons and tons of releases. I'm trying to cover them all. I cannot review them all, but I'm trying to at least play them. So, I've done live stream of O-Shape today. I've done live stream of Budget Codes. I review Walking Dead Onslaught, and also I reviewed the Swordman. So, we've had a lot going on. But don't forget, that wasn't everything. Until You Fall is out now. Sadly, I didn't have a chance to play the game yet, but nevertheless I want to mention it in this video because it's kind of a big release. It's this physically based combat. And listen, if you didn't like the Swordman and if you didn't like the Walking Dead Onslaught, then this one might be the best offering of the bunch. Sadly, it didn't have much coverage yet. I'm gonna try to do it as soon as I can, as soon as I get my hands on the game, and also as soon as I'm not at work. So I'll be playing it at some point, hopefully. But this physically based combat is big different because the game is not as gory, but it is more advanced. So you got double weapons, dual wielding, but also you can press buttons to like charge the abilities. You got dash button. There's much more mechanics in this game than in other games that illustratively with this physically based combat. And if you look at the reviews, 9 out of 10s everywhere. The game is great, people loving it. It's been out on PC for a while to the very big prize from the PSVR community. So finally it's out on PlayStation VR. If you didn't check it out yet, maybe try to do so whenever you got chance. And of course this game coming from a well-known studio, which is Shell Games. You know them from I Expect You to Die, one of the very early PlayStation VR games and one of the very early successful stories in VR. I think the game earned them over $2 million now, so that's nice. They released it pretty much on every headset, but also what they very nicely supported it after the launch, giving us new content for totally free on a couple of occasions. So I'm assuming once we buy Until You Fall, then probably eventually we're gonna get some updates for this game as well. It's set in this like a fantasy neon world with very nice soundtrack. So everything about this game is very polished and very entertaining. The game you might like, so I just want to mention it. Like I said, I couldn't cover it just yet, even though I'm trying to cover everything. But of course there's only so many hours in the day, but definitely a very interesting title, and it should be out now everywhere. Okay, anyway, if you like what you're seeing, then please press a like because it does helps the channel a lot. And if you're new to the channel and are not subscribed, then subscribe. It's always better when it's more of us. And that's it, bye.